Thank you. There we go.
Okay, I'm continuing a topic that we started yesterday on individual interviews and reflective meditation practice. And we we think individual interviews are valuable, maybe even necessary at some points in the practice of a lifetime. I mean, many of us come to meditation and then we try to keep up a practice, and this practice changes over the course of our doing it. And in our meditation instructions, they're very broad and roomy. So a lot of times it's not until after the meditation and reflection that you need a little bit more attention and focus. And really, that's the place I think we have the most focus in our meditation, because we're not asking you to focus so directly in the meditation sittings. It's more afterwards, focusing by remembering, by looking at your thoughts and feelings and what actually happened. So with this focus on meditation experience, what do you make of the experience? That's a big question. How are you talking about the experience to yourself? What kind of meaning are you making from it? And the most usual reply that I hear, especially when we start the practice, is nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing important happened, or not much happened, or I don't know how to talk about this. Something went on, but I can't remember. So I really think that reflective meditation is an asking practice. Asking what happened, asking ourselves, where did it go? Asking ourselves what meaning we make. And that we do that after meditation, it gives us again more freedom in the meditation to go wherever it goes. And we have a list of questions that we tend to ask after a meditation sitting. And I've put them on my website, on the Sati Sangha website, under one of the tabs called Getting Started. So you could see these questions there. And if you can't find them, email me and let me know, and I can send them to you. But just a few of them these are the kind of things we would ask you in an interview, in a sharing conversation. We would say something like, were you aware of any shifts or changes in the meditation? Any transitions from different experiences? And then we would ask you that and want to hear more about if you can remember any of that. We often ask something like, was there anything absent from the meditation, like anything that you were expecting? You thought you would think about work the whole time, or you thought you would be upset with the conversation you just had. Was there an absence of mood or tone or kind of familiarity, something that you thought would happen? And then we often ask, was there anything surprising or new that came up? An insight or something that you thought about, or that you were seeing or hearing or feeling. So with these questions, and there's more of them, but we never ask all of them after one sitting. You only ask one or two. It usually gives enough for a conversation. But the intention is to model them so that you start to ask these questions of yourself. And because we still recommend individual interviews, I was thinking, how far do we think people can get on their own without any type of talking with a teacher or a peer? And I thought you can go quite a distance with these questions, that they really can open up something for you to explore about your experience, and you can start to see Dharma teachings within them. But sometimes that can be really isolating on your own. And it's helpful to have somebody show you the ropes, kind of bring you into a dialogue. And also, we can't see what we're missing. And this is, I think, a big point, that often what we're missing in our experience is the views within it. And views are a big deal in Buddhist practice. Perspectives, attitudes, beliefs, These are like the air we breathe, the water we swim in. They're really not always that available to us, but they become more available in a conversation. So yesterday in my meditation sitting, after Nelly and I had a conversation about individual interviews, I was thinking about how direct questions can fluster me. Nelly had asked me what the Dharma range for individual interviews was, and I couldn't remember. It was like, I don't know. It's on my website. It's $50 to $100, $150. I have this big range so that I don't turn people away. But it was like I had a split, like my mouth and my mind weren't connected. And I had a moment where I couldn't pivot. So in the meditation sitting, I was thinking about this, and I had this memory of when I was a kid, and this would happen, a fair amount of time because I was born into a large family. I remember my mom asked me a question about myself, and I was so excited. Oh, she wants to know about me. And I couldn't answer. I couldn't say anything. No words came out of my mouth. And so it felt like this kind of pattern, this repeat. And I thought, okay, is this sankhara or maybe even a personality trait? Is this something that I won't be able to overcome, that it won't change in my lifetime? So I was thinking about that. And then in the meditation, this is all happening, with my eyes closed, sitting down. I see this image of a panel of other people, and they're all really quirky. And they're answering questions in weird ways, and kind of ways that are funny, but a little bit offbeat, but something are really to the point. I like some of them, I don't like others. But it brings with it a kind of kindness to myself and to what I have to work with. And going, oh, we all have to work with this in some way. And these are just the conditions that I have. There was a way I thought, I don't even need to label this as self-consciousness or low self-esteem or whatever category I might put it into. So when I came out of the sitting yesterday, I was reflecting back on it, and the view that was in it just popped into my mind. And it's a view I contemplate often because we talk about Dharma. And this is the view that I'm often thinking about, is the Dharma is to be given freely. And so I've contemplated this over the years, and one of the translations is that it's free. It should not cost. You don't charge for the Dharma. And we've talked about this, monks and nuns, they don't handle money. I'm not a monk or a nun. This is like kind of old repeating thoughts. I'm a secular teacher. I have to support myself with my teaching. And the question that came in yesterday, and this is more in the reflection, is, but what does it take for me to offer something freely? And the question just felt personal and caring and relevant and a valid part of the equation. Like, I really do have to look at what can I truly offer, and what are some of the limits and boundaries on the generosity that I can offer with my teaching. And the ideal of being able to give the teachings for free no matter what conditions are around me really feels like an ideal that I have to constantly wear away in my teaching. And it helps me to be more realistic and more honest and really more truthful. And that's what we cultivate in this community. So I felt a kind of relief with reviewing this view and kind of looking at it from a little different angle. So when someone asks us a question, even when we ask it of ourselves, and is sincerely interested in what's going on and what's happening, we get to reflect again and a little more deeply. And we get closer to views, and we can even surprise ourselves at times by making associations and linking things that don't go together in our ordinary thinking, that allow something new to happen. So meeting individually has really always been a Buddhist tradition with students. And it really throws our inner world, out into the open. And we don't want to do this with just anyone. So I'm going to use a baseball analogy. And I don't know anything about baseball, but this one I liked, which is that we're going to throw our inner world out, but to somebody who can catch it, and that we've been trained to catch. And it takes a lot of gumption to bring your inner world to another person, and to bring it to the catcher. Thank you. I'm going to end the Dharma talk here.